Good morning and welcome to Conversations on the Block. I'm your host, Pat Robinson. Good morning to my WCBS, WFAN, 1027 and 94.7 The Block family. Tri-State, today we're sitting down with a man whose invention has literally changed and saved lives around the world. Arthur Lee, founder and CEO of LifeVac, turned tragedy into triumph when he created a simple but revolutionary device that has prevented countless choking deaths from infants just weeks old to centenarians. His journey started in logistics, grew into a multi-million-dollar company, and then shifted towards a mission that touches families everywhere. Today, we're going to talk about that innovation, that entrepreneurship, community impact, and the power of refusing to accept preventable loss. And so who's joining us is Arthur Lee, who's the founder and inventor of CEO of LifeVac, a patented life-saving device designed to offer the safest method of aspirating a choking child or adult. After graduating from Stony Brook University in New York, he went into the air transportation industry, quickly learning everything about trucking and air freight business, and then building his own logistics company called ALBS Logistics. In just a short time, his business partner reached out with an impressive revenue of over $20 million annually. Then in 2012, they were acquired by Radiant Global Logistics. Having spent years in business, he was happy to leisurely pursue time with his family, doing woodworking and building skills, expanding his love of creating boats, tree houses, and old cars. But it wasn't too long before he would be called out of retirement to help save lives around the world. So he began LifeVac in 2012 when he was visiting a friend in the hospital and was told the story of a 7-year-old child who lost his life after choking on a grape. Being a father himself, he was determined to find a solution to end unnecessary choking tragedies. He used his inquisitive mind, business, and building skills to bring what is now a globally known product to the market that saves lives. Welcome to the show, Arthur.
Thank you so much for having me, and I'm grateful and impressed. You're prepared and you read all that, and it was funny looking back, and I look at my freight career, and my partner, ALBS, Art Lee, Bob Sweet, we were a team, but there was a God wink. I was retiring.
Wow.
And I think it's important, we don't talk about it enough, but there was, God came in when I had made it for my daughter, right? And I could save her.
Right.
So technically I'm done, I'm retired. Transportation's a tough business, 24/365, started driving a truck, wound up making it, but, it's a tough world.
Yeah.
And I was very much looking forward not to doing anything. Right. But when God tells you to do something,
that's right,
you go do it. So I did. And just as we were talking in the God wink world, 7 lives today.
That's amazing. That's amazing. And so let's go back to the time when that feeling and that inspiration came, and you said you heard a story of a 7-year-old who choked on a grape. What did that do to you, and what made you take an action at that point?
Well, I was, I think a lot of it had to do with environment. I was in the hospital. My buddy's mom was having an operation, and I was just keeping him company, and it was quiet. He pointed over to steel gurney, those cold gurneys, and he said, last time I was here, a 7-year-old choked to death, was laying on that gurney. And he talked about the parents and the mother on the floor, inconsolable, and the EMS, everyone had. And my daughter was 7. And I was looking at that gurney and saying, God, that could be my daughter. I didn't know the Heimlich didn't always work, right? Now, we say get trained, get Red Cross trained, be prepared. But it doesn't always work, And recently the Red Cross recommends the use of a suction device if it doesn't work or it's not feasible. So I was like, I got to be able to save my daughter. I had a tragic accident when I was a kid. Life can change in an instant. I knew the pain that came rushing into me. And I just started researching. There was nothing really good out there. And I just set out to save her.
Yeah.
That was my first goal.
So as you begin this process, right, and you have all of this experience, when you were working with the prototypes and then you realized that you had something, it's not easy when products are introduced to the general market. What kind of, marketing did you do? Did you have to go out? Did it take a lot of influence for people to believe that this product worked?
Well, and I mentioned God because what happened was I was able to save her, and I was like, okay, I'm good. And then I started thinking, what about your child? How could I see a story of a child that choked to death and knowing I had something, but I was too weak to do it? And I used to camp with my daughter, and we went out at night, and we talked, and we sat around the fire. She was little. She was only 7. And afterwards, I walked out, and I was looking at the sky, and I knew I had to do it. And I said, God, give me the strength. As I said the word strength, a shooting star went across the sky. And I said, okay, I don't have no idea what I'm doing. I think it's pretty much impossible, but I knew I could because he told me, right? The problem is, 1, I didn't know anything about making a medical product. 2, I didn't know anything about making any product. 3, you can't test it. I can't test it on a live person. So the beginning part, forget the marketing, was creating it and testing it and getting it to the point where it could be used. And we persevered through that. And then the marketing end started to happen.
Mm-hmm. Take the Tri-State back to the first time when you had the first testimony about hearing that the product worked and it actually saved a life.
Well, there's another God story. So I guess we're about 4 years in, and I get a text, hey, Art, call me. We saved our first life. Now, Jackie, my daughter, is standing in front of me. She was with me the whole time. And she goes to school, so it was kind of a God wink that she was right there in the first place. So I show her my phone. I go, honey, we saved our first life. It was in the UK. So I call up my buddy in the UK. Hey, what happened? Oh, it was in an elder care home. They tried the Heimlich. It didn't work. The nurse grabbed the LifeVac, and then Jackie used it, and she saved the life. I said, Jackie? He goes, yeah, the nurse's name was Jackie. The first person to ever save a life with Jackie was in the UK, same name as my daughter.
That's amazing. That's amazing.
Yeah, but those are the moments that help me keep going.
Yeah.
And it's so cool that you asked what was the first one like.
Yeah.
And she was there. We cried. I hugged her because I've been going at it for years, 0 lives the first year, 0 lives the second year, 6 the third year, I think 13 the fourth year, 37 the fifth year, 57 the sixth year, 500, and now today, 7 lives, and we're coming up on 5,000 lives saved.
Look at that. And so in retrospect, when you think about where you were thinking about retirement, and then you got this sign from God, and you moved and you took action, and the action saved lives, and now the lives that are being saved is it's a broadening thing. Do you ever think about retirement, or are you more fixated on, oh my goodness, look at this product and look what it has the potential to do across the world?
I think he gave me a mission. I look forward to accomplishing it, and it's starting to take...
You know what I call that? God's work.
Yeah.
Right?
Well, I'm just a hammer, and pretty good for me. You smash it and things happen, so I'm in. Mm-hmm. But I look at it that way, right? And when I'm done, and, my little vision is someday choking's eliminated. It's news if it happens. Wow, choking. How did that happen? Not 16 a day and everyone goes, it happens all the time. But I'm getting there. But my goal is that someone someday says, some guy made that in his garage and cured this. Maybe I can do something great. Not me.
Right,
it's some guy. We don't know. Mm-hmm. But the story of being able to go in your garage, use God, use strength, use wisdom, use perseverance, use creativity, never give up, changes the world.
Yeah.
Right? Not me, some guy. Yeah. I'm looking forward to being some guy someday, going back to being a life. But
this is great. This is great. And so for those folks who have never seen the LifeVac or experienced it, let's talk about the actual product itself, how it's designed, what it's designed to do, so people can get a picture of it.
Yeah, I know we're on radio, so
you have to be very creative, right?
I like it. So basically, from the beginning, it was a Home Depot sink plunger. Okay, that's where I made the first one. So if you look at that little yellow sink plunger in Home Depot, that's kind of the foundation, right? So when you take that plunger on the real LifeVac and you push it down, there's a vent system. So think your plunger in your sink, not your toilet, because who would want that on their face?
Right.
Sink plunger. So you push it down, Now, in ours, the air vents out the side, so it can't push it further in.
Right.
Then a ball valve locks. Boom. And when you pull it, that suction, that same suction, that pop of suction, pulls out what's stuck in you. And the kid has a child mask, an adult mask, and a practice mask, right? So depending on the person, you use the mask, the right mask, and it worked even if you goof it up. I did it on purpose. It lasts forever because my dad made me ethical. I didn't do it so you have to buy a new one every year. So it lasts forever. Covers children and adults. You could save yourself. And
could you?
Yeah. If you ever use it, we give you a free one, and we give one free to every school in America.
That's incredible. That's incredible.
Yeah.
And so thinking about that, right? Have you gotten this product into restaurants and things of that nature?
Yeah, we're in over 10,000, somewhere around 20,000 schools. We've saved 80 kids in school. We've saved people in restaurants. You know, the real heroes lately, I won't say lately, they're always heroes, but our first responders now, our police officers, we are blessed because they get there first, usually, right? EMS and EMT and those heroes, they've saved lives with it too. But the police tend to be there first. And now that we had one this morning, a friend in Pensacola donated units. The next day, the officer used it to save a life.
Wow.
So it's homes, mostly, parents, elderly. Then we have schools, first responders, restaurants, etc.
So, and so applaudable. When you think about, so talking now, because there's a lot of people listening from coming out of retirement and having this calling to do this and being very creative and innovative, but then also at having a purpose. There's a lot of people out here who say, hey, I got this great idea also. What does it look like in terms of investment of capital to get something like this off of the ground? And not necessarily, and you don't have to display numbers, but is it something feasible that when you have these kind of ideas, how do you go about it?
Well, if it's a medical product, I think you can't do it.
Got it.
Yep. Too much. But yeah, I think you have to realize what you're trying to do. You know, what's the goal, and there's nothing wrong with making money and coming up with a profitable idea. That investment's going to vary. I put about probably 300,000 of my own money into it to start it, but I was blessed because I sold my company. I used my retirement money. So what? A little scary, because that was to sustain me, but God told me to, so I did it. I didn't really think that much about it. I knew I'd be okay.
Right.
But I think you really got to make sure the value of what you're doing is going to get you over the path. I went to Shark Tank. I got asked to be on it.
Wow. Tell us about that.
Well, I wasn't on it. They asked me, and then they chickened out because I save lives, and they'd rather have, goofy items that make money. But when I was there, I saw a lot of people with dreams. And unfortunately, I would look at it and say, I don't think so, The emperor has no clothes. But so you really got to be careful that you have something of value and it's not too personal, So
going into this space with medical-related product, what were the things that you had to do in terms of getting it on the market?
Well, the FDA protects us and does a good job of it, but it's also extremely challenging.
Okay.
Everything you do is monitored, and they will, they'll come and visit you and make sure you use black ink, and it goes that deep. And it's really intense, and it costs a lot of money. We have 2 people that just handle FDA compliance. And then you have to have all sorts of medical testing in the medical product world, But it can be challenging and expensive. That's why I was like, if it's a medical product, you got to raise a lot of money.
Did you learn a lot in going through that process?
Oh, my God. I've learned so much. You know what? One of the big things, I'm not a huge fan of technology and everything, and I have concerns for our youth. But the good thing is research. You can find things like you wouldn't believe. I found studies from the 70s on choking where a gentleman named Dr. Gouldner was able to test it on live people before we weren't allowed to do that. I was able to find the forces of a cough and of the Heimlich. Mm-hmm. So I think it's such an awesome opportunity. The good part is the ability to get information, to study, and to make progress.
Yeah. Thank you for sharing that. And if you're just joining, you're listening to Pat Robinson. We are talking to Arthur Lee, who's the founder and inventor and CEO of LifeVac. Arthur, so have you met any of the people in which your products have saved lives?
Man, you have fantastic questions.
I know.
I am really impressed. You're really smashing my heart is coming out of my chest like 3 times already. Yeah, I have, and it's an amazing experience, and I have so many cool stories. The first little boy that we saved, his name was Killian, and I went out there and I was holding him. I was looking at the parents and the grandparents and him, and it was the most powerful moment of gratitude I ever felt. No one, it was dead silent. Nothing existed, your bills, whatever, your foot hurts. We were all just staring at him, thankful that he was alive. And it was such a moment of gratitude, right? Mm-hmm. How do you feel gratitude? Stand there holding the baby with the parents and the grandparents who would have been devastated and destroyed. Mm-hmm. And I also had a little boy. I bent down to shake his hand. And I said, "Oh, nice to meet you, JD." And he jumps on me. And he puts his arms around my neck and his legs around me like a bug. And says, "Thank you for saving my life."
Wow. So,
yeah, I've had quite a few beautiful moments.
Wow. This is not a quick sale. These are real stories. I mean, just admirable. So for people who are, it's become common that organizations, every year we certify folks in CPR and we do the training. And to be quite honest, we forget.
Yeah.
Right? And so we learn it, we get it. It's with us for a few weeks, and if it's not practiced, which we don't want it to be practiced, but we tend to forget those things until it's time to recertify 2 years later, and we can't even remember. Talk to the Tri-State about the importance of CPR, how LifeVac bridges the gap.
Well, it's another great thing. The reason it's a sink plunger, I had made something, but it was too complicated. And it was tough because I put time and effort in study and research, but I had to throw it out because it was too complicated. I looked at the social side, the sociological side. Your child's choking in front of you. You're not functioning, right? That's why it's a plunger. You push it, you pull it, you push it. Oh, my God, push a bullet. It'll come out, right? It was designed to understand that loss of all knowledge.
Yeah.
Right?
Wow.
Super simple. In that side of the training, you can get trained. Now, the combination, right? Even if you just watch a video once a year, once in a while, on how to do just, abdominal thrust, the Heimlich, right? That's cool. The LifeVac I've found also gives you some calmness. Right? So you're going to do that, but you have something, right? So what I've heard thousands of times is, I knew I could do something. I ran and got it, and I used it. And there are plenty of people that said, I had no idea. I just push and pulled it, plunged them. Thank God it exists. But that is a big factor to understand. You're going to be in a position where your brain's not working. You're terrified. This is 4 minutes. That's all you got. And that's why it's a little sink plunger. And that's why it's important to be trained.
And so for those who are thinking about the visualization of this, if someone unfortunately was choking, but they were still, up on their feet, how do you administer the LifeVac if they're standing up, or there are techniques on how you utilize it?
Well, a lot of the things I learned going, forward from 13 years ago, people say themselves. Right? And I didn't realize the power of that, and how many people said, I live alone. I'm terrified. I didn't, I don't want to jump on a chair, So you just put that mask on your own face, you push it and you pull it, and it'll suck it right out.
Really?
Yeah. And that relates to, the story. We had a mother of three little ones. She bought it for her children. She's a mother. She choked. Her 3 kids don't know anything. The baby's crawling around. The other 2 are playing. She can't make a sound. She had the LifeVac. So mom bought it for them. She saved herself. And when she saved herself as a real mom, I didn't want my kids to see me die. She was more worried about her children and the impact she would have. That's a mom. But to that point, yeah, you could save yourself. It's that simple.
Yeah. And so tell us, you started this in 2012, right? 2012? Okay. And so it started out small. Where is it? Is it all across the country? Is there a high demand for it? Tell us about keeping up with the production of the need for this product.
That was my first career. Me and Bob started with 4 people in a closet, and we built a 22. I had that training. We are now globally. We've saved lives in 47 countries.
It's amazing.
Like I said, we've saved almost 100. Donna told me earlier, I don't remember, but it's close to 100 lives in schools, thousands of police, thousands of fire departments, millions of homes. And, it's growing. Things, you helping me, helping the people with this message, every brick in the wall. And 16 people die a day. Right? We've saved 7 today. Sometimes they report it later, but my goal is to get 16 a day.
Right.
Right? My goal is you watch breaking news because someone choked to death, because it's so rare that it makes the news. The 16 people that choked to death today won't be on the news. Child choked to death in Connecticut, no one knows. But that's the mission. That's when I can go play golf and build trees.
Got it. And so when you think about, especially in New York City, and I know you said the product is global, but there's 1.1 million children in the school system. Have you made progress in terms of New York City schools? Is there an opportunity maybe to go in spaces where there are principals and just those key decision makers to have some people on your staff kind of introduce this product?
We've done it for 13 years. Luckily, the great state of Texas finally made it a law that every school has to have one.
It's awesome.
I just know because I live here. 7 kids have choked to death in the New York school system. Sadly, a few years ago, they were about 200 yards apart. Disabled child in Brooklyn and another child in the city. But, I've banged on my head against the wall, been to Albany, just trying. And, the hope is that they follow Texas's lead. The Red Cross recommends it. Kids die in school every year, about 7 average. And hopefully New York pick up the ball.
Yeah.
I mean...
Did you have anything to do with the Texas law getting passed?
Well, the good thing is when the Red Cross put forth their statement, their recommendation, it includes not feasible. The problem is that a child in a wheelchair, a halo brace, a scoliosis brace, they have no option. You can't Heimlich them. They just die. And that's a violation of the ADA. So there's a group called Equal First Aid, and they are pushing that everyone has an opportunity to be saved in a choking emergency. If you look at the poster on the wall, the person's standing up nicely and the other person's behind them. Yeah, find where it says how to save a child in a wheelchair. Doesn't exist. So luckily Texas took that to heart and said everyone deserves a chance. And we have a chance. Prior, there was nothing you could do. So I don't really fault the world.
Yeah.
There was nothing you could do. Now there is, and we need to take action.
Tri-State, you're on notice. You heard it.
Yeah.
You're on notice.
It's pretty simple. I mean, it's the most common way we lose a child at school.
Yeah.
Right? So we have fire extinguishers, we have EpiPens, we have all this stuff, which is great.
Yeah.
I'm totally for it. But the number one reason your kid doesn't come home is because he chokes to death. So we should put that in the forefront.
Yeah. And so for those people who do have the LifeVac, or if they're in schools, is it like mounted on the wall? Or just trying to get a sense of what it looks like?
Yeah. Historically, you have the poster and then you have a clear case with a LifeVac. And a lot of schools put it right next to the defibrillator.
Yep.
Right? In accessible area. So the vision is defibrillator, LifeVac. And that way, that's where you go.
Yeah. And do you find that individuals, outside of schools, like just carried in their bags?
Yeah. The 3,000 lives saved. It's a gentleman named Ray. He saved this beautiful little girl. He was driving. And she was in the back, choked, blew, nothing worked, pulled over, got out, laid her down. used the LifeVac. As he was using it, 2 people pulled up, running up with LifeVacs.
Really?
Yeah. We probably had a couple hundred good Samaritans, people that carry it in their baby bag, save someone else. We had to save at SeaWorld. Mother had it in her bag, saved a person in a wheelchair.
Amazing. Tell us about your ability to share this information. Do you attend conferences? I understand that you've received a lot of accolades and prestigious awards.
Well, I mean, what the heck day is it? Saturday I was in Washington with Dr. Ben Carson, who is probably, to me, one of the greatest humans in the history of humans. And we support his foundation. He's spokesperson. He does commercials, but he's just an amazing guy. But I've been in 7 states in 9 days, doing TV, doing radio. We put our commercials on TV. I pretty much will do anything to get the word out so you don't lose your child or your loved one.
Yeah. Tell me, and this may be a question, so like, how far does your product reach? Is it in the prison system? Like, is that an opportunity?
Yeah, we've saved lives there. I think, to me, and why I give one free is our school.
Oh, wait, hold on. Did I miss that you give one free?
Every school. I was in Wisconsin, and 3 people testified about how their child died in school. And I know them, and I know the pain. And I came on as technical advisor, and they asked me questions. I said, all right, and I answered them. I talked about the forces and the Red Cross. First question I get is, well, we have a limited budget. I controlled myself, and I said, they're free. I'll give one free. I will give one free. And I couldn't just do the state of Wisconsin. So I took out that very frustrating question. Money?
Yeah.
You're talking about money? Okay, it's free. Now what are you going to do? So there is no excuse. And I'll take the hit. I don't care. If we could stop our children from dying in school, and I got to pay for it, I'll pay for it.
That's really admirable. And so when we think about children choking or just people choking in general, the LifeVac has, I guess, the force that it could, bring something up out of you. Grapes to the meat, like just everything, right?
Well, we pulled out over 200 different things. Wow. Particularly children, because most of the adults, it's steak, number one, but it's food. The kids, we pulled out pieces of plastic from a wrapper. We pulled out leaves. We pulled out hair clips. We pulled out toys.
Wow.
It's amazing the number, 200 different things. 5 kids on leaves, crawling around, see a leaf, stick it in their mouth. So the force is basically, it's 300 millimeters of mercury. I know that doesn't mean much. It's as hard as you could cough. So if you took a deep breath and coughed really hard, that's about 300 millimeters of mercury. And that's why it's successful. The problem is when you choke, you can't speak. You can't move any air. When you crush the body with the Heimlich, you're just trying to get a little puff to make it move. So the LifeVac doesn't care if you're big or you're passed out or you're small. And your rescuer, I have women that goof around with their husband. They can't get their arms around them. You're going to die. LifeVac doesn't care. It's going to pull 300 and it's going to pull it out.
Man. And you don't necessarily have to be, to exert the force, no matter what it is. If you're a small person, when you're utilizing it, it will have the same impact.
Yeah, that's the beauty of the little wife saving the big husband, which has happened, hundreds of times, where you take out the variable. What do you have air? Do you have a big enough person? Do they thrust you hard enough?
Right.
Are you capable to do it right? You do too high, you do too low. Equalizer. Push it, pull it, and anyone can generate the right force.
Yeah. And so you're doing a lot of the advocacy all across. I hear you saying you're on TV, radio. You're doing a lot. You're here. What can the community do to support the awareness? Like, is there an opportunity to support and have, just maybe community groups introducing this to community boards? Where are the opportunities to get this information near and close to those who we need to get it to?
It's like anything that changes the world. A small group of determined people can change the world. It's the only thing that ever has. Before I came on today, I saw a video. I think it was Facebook. It was a mother. Her child had choked to death. She was advocating for LifeVac, bringing awareness. We have groups like Maverick's Legacy, Colin's Crew, the Hockenberrys in Indiana, who've lost children, created 501s, but get LifeVacs, I match them, and donate them. You know, the way anyone can do anything. They can donate to their school.
Yeah.
They can donate to their police department. They could donate to their fire department. They can give one to the elder care or the VA, both of which have people with disabilities that can't be saved. Mm-hmm. And it doesn't have to be grandiose. Mm-hmm. If you buy one and bring it to your elder care center, you're going to save someone. Mm-hmm. And that's all I can ask for, is that we just help me take a couple bricks out of the pile.
Yeah. So a quick question for you. So how innovative is LifeVac? Are you guys on TikTok?
Oh, God. Yeah.
I mean,
but you know what? Back in the day when we had 80 million views of a woman saving her child on
it's
TikTok.
amazing.
But now, once you have to pay, they change it so you can't go viral. But both on Facebook and TikTok, we've had body cam, home surveillance cam, that shows you a life being saved. And those have helped spread the word and save so many.
Yeah. Is there an annual space in which, you know, people that have used this product come together once a year just as a space for, you know, appreciation, for testimony? And if not, maybe that's not.
Well, we have celebrated milestones. We had a 500 Lives Saved party, and we invited some families that saved their children. We had 1,000, we had 2,000. No, we had 1,000, we had 3,000, and we're planning a 5,000 Life Save party. And that's where we take a moment and invite as many as we can. I visit them when I can. Mm-hmm. That original question, I could go on. I mean, I probably visited 50 families.
Wow. That's amazing.
Yeah, because you know what? You want to get energy to keep going. You want to get energy when you ran to 7 states in 9 days.
Yeah, that's a lot.
Hold the child is a lot. And I get up and go do it again.
Yeah. For people that are listening that may be on the side of, hey, this LifeVac doesn't fall in the priority of budget, right? I know we said, you know, this kind of thing clearly should not even be thinking about cost. Talk to the Tri-State about the potential cost of this and kind of give them some additional insight about why it is important to have this product.
Well, it's $69.95.
Not bad.
A little work, you can find a discount code, get you down to $59.95. But here's the thing. You have to remember all those things, the FDA, liability insurance, marketing. It's about as cheap as I could do it and keep going. But here's what's really key. It lasts forever.
Love that.
Right? So it doesn't expire and you got to buy a new one. So if you know, and I know that could be a lot. I know it may have to take putting money aside. And heck, if you're really hurting, call us, contact us. I'll probably give it to you. But the investment isn't, you have a fire extinguisher, your house on fire, run out. Grab your kid and run out. It's just stuff.
Yeah.
You can't run from a choking emergency. Mm-hmm. If you can't breathe, you will die. Mm-hmm. So the fact that it lasts forever is save up, get one, put it in your cabinet. And when you put it in a recycle bin 20 years from now, smile. Because that means you never used it.
Yeah.
And if you do use it, I'll give you a free one.
And does this product exist? Like, is it placed in elder care homes? Have you?
Yeah, we probably have 2,000 saves in elder care homes. Elder care homes, a lot of these, that now the numbers come in 7, 8, 9, 10 a day.
Wow.
A lot of them are elder care because they choke there all the time. Every day, you know. Dozens of people choke to death. You lose your swallowing. MS, Parkinson's. Parkinson's, number one cause of death is choking. And you want to help? Donate to an elder care. You know, get them in there.
Yeah.
And that and the schools are my passions. And the VA. Men and women are giving their bodies to our country. They choke and there's nothing.
Yeah.
That's not right.
Yeah.
So I got a couple of things left to do.
Okay. I was going to say, so what's next, Arthur? I mean, but you're still going.
Yeah. Well, it's 13 years and 18-hour days every day. But the key
Tri-State, let's give him a round of applause. He's out here saving lives. I mean, let's go.
Remember how I want to remember it. That guy went in his garage and changed the world.
That's
not
right.
Me.
That's right.
Some guy. And that will inspire someone to take on a challenge because that guy could do it and will have saved lives along the way.
Yeah, yeah. Okay, final words for the Tri-State, Arthur.
I'm grateful. I hope, that you consider this for your family, particularly if you have little ones or care for an elder one or live alone or handicapped. Those are great ones. Life's a choice, right? We can't live in fear, but we can be reasonable, right? Particularly with children. I told you right before we came in, we saved an 18-month-old.
Amazing.
I don't want you to lose.
Yeah. That's amazing. And so where's the website? We want to give them the website if they want to go and place an order, and they would possibly also be able to see a demonstration video of how the product works, right?
Yeah, we give free training. So
that's good to know.
You can see a little blurb of how it works, and if you're interested, there's a full training video. We go over protocol, so you get free training on that too, and then we show you how to lose the LifeVac. And it's LifeVac.net.
Okay.
You can go to LifeVac.com too. Be careful. There's a lot of knockoffs out there
Okay,
on
good
Amazon.
to know.
So if you really want to be careful, go to LifeVac.net.
Okay.
And, I hope you do.
Yeah.
And I'm not the ShamWow guy. I'm not trying to scare you. 5,000 people a year, one kid every 5 days. It's the fourth leading cause of accidental death. You got poisoning, slips and falls, car accidents, and choking.
Yeah. And shipping, once they order it, it's shipped to you.
Yeah.
The training is there. Right? And it's something that we hope that we never use, but we know that we have it in case.
I did best I could. It's free.
Great.
Free to schools, lasts forever, it's free training. And I tried to keep the prices reasonable as I could.
Amazing. Absolutely amazing. So listen, as I always tell people, once you're here on my show, you always have an opportunity to come back and give any updates. I love the fact that when I met you today, that you came in and you were giving numbers and you're like, this amount of lives have been saved. So that just goes to show me that it's so much more than the product. It's about literally saving lives.
Well, I came in, I got that feeling of hope. You're so prepared and professional, and you care to send that message. And Mark's here. He's here because he cares. This is our sales rep.
Yeah.
Mark. Like he's supposed to be telling me to buy stuff.
Yeah.
He's here to support this mission.
LifeVac.net. Are they able to email you and send stories? How do you get your testimonials? How do you get your stories?
Well, on the site is a button. If you've used LifeVac, please contact us. So the 7 I got today are emails. And a lot of people just say, I don't know what to do. Do I throw it out? And a lot of them know that they'll get a free one. But if you use it, you go to our site and there's a big button. If you used it, let us know.
And they give you the stories of what happened and how it worked.
Oh, my God. And some of the stories, this one I just opened when I walked in, the baby was turning blue. That's when you know. And I used it, and he's alive, and he cried, and then 911 came and checked him out, and he's okay. I get them 7 today.
And does EMS have these LifeVacs? They do.
Yeah, a lot of them do. It's a lot of them do, a lot of them don't. It's getting the word out. They're heroes. Our police, our EMS, they're heroes. They know they'll do it.
Yeah, and
that's how we can give it to them too.
Yeah. You know what's interesting about the CPR thing is that when you take the CPR training, again, it kind of leaves your mind.
Yeah.
And then they tell you, to buy these things to put over your mouth and do. By the time you're figuring out all of what you're supposed to do, like it's overwhelming, right? Whereas something like this, it's just an immediate action you're doing. You said something really important about your mind and your ability to think rationally. It's just like you hit survival mode.
That's why it's a plunger. Right? That's why it's a plunger. That's why I put a lot of effort into the one I threw out. Because once it got too complicated, I said I'd be panicking. So I wouldn't know how to work it. So plunger away like you would, you think.
Yeah.
But, the problem, too, is CPR isn't good. It's useless if you don't get an airway, right? You could do CPR, and if they're not getting air, it's not going to help.
Right.
So the real factor about a choking and an airway obstruction, it has to come out. And nothing else matters.
Right.
So that's why I did it.
Wow. Absolutely incredible. Well, thank you again for joining us, Arthur. This is an absolute joy to know that this product was out here.
Well, it's been a pleasure.
Yeah.
This place, you, Mark, your team, just amazing to help
Yeah.
Save lives.
And we're gonna invest in LifeVac. We're gonna put some in our organizations.
Yeah,
yeah.
They're on
absolutely.
me. I'll send them to you.
Oh, that's awesome. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Wonderful. So we'll stay tuned. We're going to be looking for you. We're going to be looking for more of these opportunities to share. And if you are from the community and you're listening, listen, lifevac.net, get the word out to the schools. Let's talk about it at the community board meetings, principals, superintendents. Like, let's get the word out there. And if you want a demonstration, like we can make that happen. We'll pull up the video. We'll have someone out to demonstrate the importance of this this important life-saving tool. And I'm sure that young people would love to even, participate.
Yeah, we've had a lot of Eagle Scout projects. We've had a lot of kids in school. We just had one today that she had a close call at school, and
Wow.
the girl said, I want to outfit my entire school, and I'm going to raise money. It's beautiful. Those are really beautiful. The baby shower gifts, the grandparent gifts, and the children that say, I want to make a difference.
Yeah.
And that she's saying, hey, I'm going to do a fundraiser, and I'll match it. And then that way it motivates them to do work, but I'll also support them and give half of what they need.
That's amazing. So you've hit 9 states. Where are you off to now? How many?
That's a good question. I don't even know. I don't know. I really know. I just go where they tell me.
Yeah. And you're not feeling any sense. So you've come out of retirement and you've just been full throttle every time you see the progress on what's happening and what's getting done.
Yeah, it's in the beginning too. Since it was so much research, I would go days because I had to find the answers.
Yeah.
Research. But I don't care.
Yeah.
I walked in here and we saved an 18-month-old.
Yeah,
I'll walk home to Long Island right now if you save another one.
Yeah. And the last piece is speak to the young entrepreneurs that are out there. I know we talked about a little bit before, but.
Well, I used to do this thing called the Invention Convention, right? I'm an inventor, I have a patent. And it was so cool because the premise was they could invent anything. It didn't have to be real, right? So it was amazing, their creativity. The house would lift up so you could vacuum. Just crazy cool stuff. But they were inspired, and they were into it, and they would explain it. And I think that's the key, is to maintain that youthfulness of anything's possible. Mm-hmm. And if you really want to, now you can get a degree in being an entrepreneur, which I think is great. But I think you need to have that faith, that courage, that creativity. It is a brutal path. I've done it twice, and it's brutal. But if you want to do something and you want to be ultra successful, it's a path.
Yeah.
But you're going to have to be passionate. Mm-hmm. You can't be a clock watcher. I worked 8 hours.
Right.
Right. You're bragging about a half day.
Right.
So we have to, it's a difficult path. And it can be, this time is rewarding because I hold children that are a lot.
Yeah, that's amazing. Well, thank you so much for joining Conversations on the Block. And we're looking forward to hearing how the numbers will, while we don't want it utilized, we want to know that it's in every single available space in the event that there is an emergency that we can use it.
We're closing in on 5,000 lives, and I will let you know, and we will all celebrate together.
Wonderful. And so what is also so great about Arthur is that he has a book that is out called Sorry, Can't is a Lie. And so I love to read, period, but I'm going to read you a little tiny excerpt of his book. And one of the chapters is called God Wink Hall of Fame. This is on behalf of Arthur. God Wink Hall of Fame, chapter 16. Like a lot of things in this book, the concept developed and the realization and name came much later. We all have had moments when a cardinal or butterfly arrives at a special time. A song comes on just when you need it or are thinking about it. The sun comes out on a special day when it's supposed to rain, or you get the ultimate snow day when you didn't study for a test and wake up to a miracle of no school. I use the term God wink often because for giving a special surprise gift or getting that break and or do-over, I honestly think these moments are necessary for us to persevere and are given to us to reassure us that we will succeed. We have to just keep going and notice and embrace them along the way. From a sink plunger in my garage to saving thousands of lives, I've experienced some incredibly powerful examples of this phenomenon. The first one involved my loyal and faithful mannequin, Choking Charlie, As I moved forward on LifeVac, I was on a strict budget and didn't want to waste a lot of money figuring it out. I explained to a friend what I was trying to do. They said, "Hey, at school we have a choking mannequin and it's broken. The Heimlich maneuver doesn't work anymore, but the airway is still good. It is perfect for what you are doing, so you can have it." "Awesome. Thank you. Keep going." So off to more experiments and ideas until the day I felt I was close. The version of the device was going to work. My daughter Jackie and I were in the garage with Choking Charlie on the shop table. Jackie was sitting on the shop stool and me standing next to her. I put it into place and gave it a push and pull. "Nothing," Jackie said. "Dad, get a good seal." The mask I was using was not right. It was not really a mask at all, so I added some tape around it. "Okay, Peanut," I said. That's her nickname. Boom. Out came an object. An olive pit? What? It turned out that Charlie wasn't broken at all. He had choked to death. Some kid had pushed an olive pit in there, and the Heimlich force was not enough to clear it. Jackie and I gave each other a huge hug. I took the significance of this God wink. At that moment, the universe told me that yes, LifeVac would work when the Heimlich failed. Keep going. And so, Tri-State, I wanted to share that because that's an excerpt of Arthur Lee's book, Sorry, Can't is a Lie, just to demonstrate that not only is this a product, not only is this something that's saving lives around the world, but this is someone who got a calling. He heard a spiritual calling. He adhered to it. He didn't have any roadmap. He didn't have any blueprint. He didn't even have any experience in the medical field, and decided that it was so important to pay attention and to adhere to that calling, and took every step and measure to not only research, to try it out, to determine, to figure it all out, but demonstrated a true mindset of making something come to fruition, and not for himself, not for revenue gain, but to save lives. And so I think this story holds so much significant value. I think it holds an opportunity for those who are listening that have influence in multiple spaces. If you haven't heard of LifeVac, do some research on it. Go to lifevac.net. Look at the videos, look at the testimonials, do some research. But it is definitely well worth the investment of time, the investment of money. And you've heard a great deal about the product. So I encourage you to do your research, pay attention, think about the things that we normally are not thinking about every day. And so I just wanted to share that excerpt from his book called Sorry, Can't is a Lie, which is available for purchase. What a great conversation with Arthur Lee. And just to know that there's a product out there like LifeVac, I hope that you all look into it. And if you find it beneficial, I hope that you consider, having a LifeVac at your disposal in your home. Encourage your schools to have one, but lifevac.net. But Tri-State, while I have a few minutes left, I didn't realize that October had so many awareness events in it. And so I just wanted to share a few of them that I just wanted to touch on, just in case you were not aware. And it's also always a good time to advocate and showcase. This month is National Book Month. And so that's celebrated through October 2025. It's a month-long event created by the National Book Foundation, and it started in 2003. And the goal is to promote reading and honors authors and their works. How fitting, Tri-State. I'm an author. And if you are just hearing that for the first time, you can visit my website at www.misspatRobinson.com. And you can see that I'm a first-time published author, and my book is called Awakening the Limitless Within. But I did that plug not only to support the discussion around National Book Month, but I think it's important that we do talk about and have conversation about how important reading really is, especially in this space now where technology takes over everything. And to some degree, people are reading on their technical devices, right? But at the same time, there's so much value and there's so much treasure in the libraries, and the ability to meet authors and to talk to authors and learn about literature and get yourself involved in engaging events that encourage lifelong reading. That to me is very beneficial. So again, National Book Month, designed to celebrate literature, Writing and the Importance of Reading, established by the National Book Foundation in 2003. So if you have not been to a library, I would encourage you to go to your local library. A library is a really cool place to be. So, and we have so many of them across New York City. So, and New Jersey. So please get to a library. Next up, I want to share that this is actually LGBTQ plus History Month, right? So we know that there's Pride that happens in June, but LGBTQ History Month in October focuses on educating people about the historical achievements and contributions of LGBTQ plus individuals, while Pride Month in June commemorates the 1969 Stonewall Uprising and celebrates the present-day visibility, diversity, and ongoing struggle for equality and rights within the community. So now there you have it. You have National Book Month. You have LGBTQ plus History Month. The other one that I do want to talk about, which I think is really important, and you know it's ongoing, and we hear about it often, as we should. But Breast Cancer Awareness Month, very important. And this month, as you know, is dedicated to increasing awareness of breast cancer, promoting screening and early detection, and raising funds for research into its cause, prevention, diagnosis, treatment, and cure. You know that you probably seen campaigns are very visible, but they are there to support those affected by breast cancer. And those campaigns are commonly featured with pink symbols as it relates to that campaign for Breast Cancer Awareness Month. So yes, we are in Breast Cancer Awareness Month. We are also in National Domestic Violence Month, Awareness Month. And so I am going to invite you to stay with me because on the next show, I have a guest speaker who I am going to bring on the show, and we're going to really dive into domestic violence awareness. So I do want to acknowledge that is within October. Also in October is Down Syndrome Awareness Month. And each year, nearly 6,000 babies are born in the United States are diagnosed with Down syndrome, or as you might translate that, 1 in every 700 babies. And the goal of this month is to focus on the acceptance and inclusion of people with Down syndrome. It gives us an opportunity to learn about their unique strengths and promote a society and workplace that values diversity and offers support to those living with Down syndrome and their families. I don't know if you know this, but in October, it's also National Disability Employment Awareness Month. And this month is a significant observance that highlights the contributions of individuals with disabilities to the workforce and the importance of inclusive workspaces. So in 2025, there's a theme called Celebrating Value and Talent, and it emphasizes the skills, achievements, and the economic impact of workers with disabilities. And this year, National Disability Employment Awareness Month will also celebrate its 80th anniversary, which marks a decade of recognition of those making positive impact of people with disabilities in the American workforce. So congratulations on 80 years of making sure that this is recognized and held up to the highest accolade. And that is information that is shared through the United States Department of Labor, because it's important to know that employment is a part of the community inclusion when we think about people with disabilities, right? We're thinking about the competitive integrated employment, them working in the community alongside people with and without disabilities, right? And also being able to have competitive wages, right? Because they too need direct pathways to greater independence, self-sufficiency. So it's important that employers understand how to manage and understand how to recognize resources that will help an inclusive environment where people can feel independent and have equal rights in reference to their employment opportunities. So I wanted to highlight that. Very important. I also wanted to talk about a really important awareness month, and that's National Depression and Mental Health Screening Month. That's a big one, right? October is National Depression Awareness and Mental Health Screening Month. It's the beginning of the holiday season, technically in October. So, you know, holiday seasons can be good for some. It can be great. And for others, it could be a time where depression kicks in and sets in. And they often affiliate that with diminished sunlight, which can lead to what's called SAD, seasonal affective disorder, SAD, causing depression for many people. And so it's important for us to recognize that this is a common condition and it may need for accessible and affordable mental health screening. So I'm going to impress on that it is possibly time for you just to get a mental health screening. If you never had one before, go to your physician. Doesn't mean that you have a mental illness. Maybe you just might want to get in the practice of having mental health screenings. Very, very important. Other factors that can play into depression include the environment. It could be genetic, it could be psychological, biological, biochemical, but not everyone experiences depression in the same way, but it can affect anyone at any time. So that's the most important part to know. So if you're feeling like, you're dealing with something, we want you to seek out professional help to get screened to make sure that you are addressing this condition if it is deemed a condition. But depression is a highly treatable condition with many options available. Again, pushing you to seek out professional help. And some stats state that depression affects 322 million people globally. And in the United States, over 15 million adults experience depression each year, and a lot of cases go unreported. So really, really important. One other thing I wanted to focus on, which is a big one, especially because students are back in school, is that it is National Bullying Prevention Month. Wow, that's a big one because students who are bullied report more physical symptoms such as headaches, stomach aches, mental health issues such as depression or anxiety than other students. So I want to repeat that. Sometimes when students are getting bullied, they may not outwardly tell you. They'll start to come down and start to experience physical symptoms. So parents, caregivers, pay attention to these things and ask the appropriate questions, right? A focus on preventing bullying is important, right? Just as important as it is to promote positive actions such as kindness, acceptance, and inclusion. And here's the thing. Bullying can be a factor leading to school violence. So we want to be mindful. We want to pay attention, make sure that we're talking to young people, giving them safe space to express themselves. If they're having a problem, do not dismiss it. Hear it out. Seek attention, talk to the school counselors, talk to the teachers, but more importantly, talk to the young people, talk to your children. Bullying is not only devastating while it's happening, but research shows that the negative effects can last a lifetime, right? We don't want that. We don't want people going through that. I remember when I was 14 and 15 years old, I was probably the most introverted kid in the neighborhood. I mean, the thought of me opening my mouth, and when I was doing that transition from junior high school to high school, and I had to take the bus for the first time, it was a big brand new world that I just wanted to shrink down, and I didn't